What did you do to be able to afford a Rolls Royce?
So I own a fashion brand called ICON.
I'm a lawyer. I used to be a millionaire, but my ex-wife has most of the money.
Actually, what's the most amount of money you made in a single year?
We had a case that resolved for $54 million.
$54 million.
The most pivotal, life-changing advice that you received in business or anything. What was the best advice you ever got?
My advice to younger folks is to spend about 90% of your time on your job and 10% on your career.
I will tell you what my mentor told me, right? Be more interested than interesting.
Number 1.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, is this your Rolls Royce?
Yes.
And what line of business are you in? What did you do to be able to afford a Rolls Royce?
So I own a fashion brand called ICON.
You're a business owner.
Yeah.
How long have you been an entrepreneur?
6 years.
Over these 6 years, what's the most amount of money you've made in a single year? In terms of
30 million this year.
$30 million. And I go all over the world interviewing the biggest business owners. Could I get one quick minute with you for the channel real quick?
Yeah.
Could you do it outside of the car?
Sure.
Did you buy this Rolls Royce cash?
Yeah, so we're here in Dubai, and in Dubai a lot of transactions happen cash. So literally $600,000 bricks of cash.
So you bought this for $600,000?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So what is the deepest life quote that you've ever heard?
Whatever you want, you can have it, as long as you're willing to bleed for what you're asking.
You should bleed for what you're asking.
Yes.
You got to put it all on the table is what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes. Because you can have it all, and I'm here because I'm willing to sacrifice who I am right now for who I want to be in the future. And most people, they don't want to trade their current life for who they want to be later. I'm willing to lock myself in, go monk mode, don't see friends for 6 months, don't be with no chicks. I didn't care. I only cared about who I had to become. And everything has a price. Your dream life has a price too. So the question is, are you willing to pay that price? To me, the answer was yes every fucking time.
When you were coming up, did you have a lot of haters?
Too much, yeah. And still do. Look, if you don't want any haters, then becoming successful is not for you, because it's a part of it. But in the beginning, it's more people hate on what they gave up on themselves. So if they see you trying to pursue that business, you trying to become rich for yourself, and they've not had the balls to try it, or they're just scared, then they will try to talk you down, you know. And to me, that was really hard in the beginning, but I'm very happy that inside my mind, I'm a very stubborn kid. So if someone says to me, you can do it, don't do it, I want it twice as much. I was like, fuck it, I will prove all these motherfuckers wrong. In school, even close family members, maybe sometimes even the people you love or the people that love you will talk down on you. And you just have to think like, once I'm successful, I will show them. And that's exactly what I did. And I can tell you with the hand on my heart, there's no better feeling than proving the ones wrong that doubted you.
Number 2.
Excuse me, sir. Question for you.
Yeah.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah?
I wish I were.
What line of business are you in?
I'm a lawyer. I used to be a millionaire, but my ex-wife has most of the money.
Actually, so what did you learn from that divorce?
Don't get divorced because in every state the woman gets all the money.
How much money did you lose from your divorce?
Several $million.
Several $1 million. What are you doing to kind of bounce back from that? And I asked because I started a channel, I grew it to a couple million followers, where I asked successful people some advice to the younger generation and how they built their wealth and how they became successful. So just wanted to ask you a couple quick questions.
No, I'm a lawyer, and I went out, I worked in big law, made a lot of money in the dot-com era. The ex-wife has all of that money right now.
Wow.
She kept all the house, and she lives very high on the hog in Florida. I got remarried, and I'm now separated and decided not to get divorced, even though we're separated, because I don't want her to have all my retirement.
So it's safe to say marriage is a business.
Marriage is an important economic decision, and you should be very careful about that, particularly if you, the man, are the money earner, and the woman doesn't work, which is both of my wife fell into that category.
Yeah.
And I'd recommend, if you are building wealth, you certainly have a prenuptial agreement. And even though you want to marry for love, just be careful.
What was the most amount of money that you've made in a single year?
It was paper money, and I eventually lost it because I didn't convert it to real money soon enough.
How much was that, though?
$17.5 million.
$17.5 million? What happened that you made $17 million? That's incredible.
It was stock options in companies with IPOs in 1999 and 2000, the height of the dot-com era. The bubble, as they say. My shares were locked up because of, after the IPO, insiders have to wait 6 months. 6 months was the middle of the crash. And by the time I convinced my Merrill Lynch broker to sell the shares, they had collapsed, and it was worth $750,000. And he finally sold them for $350,000. So sell too soon.
Sell too soon.
You never lose money selling too soon.
You got amazing advice, sir. Real quick,
Yeah.
you got a big election coming up. Who are you voting for in this election?
I don't talk politics in public just because it's so divisive now.
Who do you think is going to win?
Personally, I hope that Kamala Harris does not win for the same reason I did not want Hillary Clinton to be president. I don't think either of them are qualified.
Did you know that for the first time ever in history, you can legally bet on the election?
I did know that.
Yeah, there's a platform called Kalshi where people can bet on who's winning. Right now it's closer to 50-50, so you can make some pretty good returns if you bet on using this platform called Kalshi.
There's only, there's only 1 or 2% at issue. We need to go, but there's only 1 or 2% at issue. It's going to be really close. Who knows? It depends upon how they count the ballots. And
Number 3.
Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you made your first million?
I think I was 25.
How'd you make it that early?
I was in mortgage banking in San Francisco.
So did you own a company or were you just...
I did. I started a mortgage company. It was a mortgage bank.
How'd you get into that business and why that industry in particular at that
Because
age?
real estate was popping off in California and the most expensive real estate, San Francisco. So that was where we started.
So what business throughout your career made you the most amount of money?
I would say the legal business. So
you're in
litigation
law.
business. I'm a lawyer.
What type of law do you practice?
We do personal injury and mass tort cases.
So across your firm in terms of revenue, what's the most amount of money you made in a single year?
We had a case that resolved for $54 million.
$54 million. What happened in that case?
It was a personal injury claim for someone who was injured in a car wreck case.
It's very competitive in personal injury. There's a lot of people that are competing. How did you build your personal brand and stand out to get those kind of cases to settle for multiple 8 figures?
I became an expert at SEO and advertised on the web before it was popular, and that brought in all the cases, and that's how we got it launched.
Give us some game right here on marketing and SEO, because again, people can be great at what they do, but no one may know what they do.
Don't try to pursue SEO. It's all but dead. Get out there and market yourself on social media. So if you go to Bryce Angel, you'll see on Instagram, Facebook, all those channels, you'll see me on there and it'll show you what to do.
Did you come from a rich family?
I did not.
So what was your turning point to financial freedom? What made you want to kind of go out there and build a multi-million dollar
Starting
business?
my own company as a young kid.
Now you made a lot of money, but a lot of people say it's hard to keep a lot of money. How have you preserved that kind of wealth?
You hire financial professionals that can help you manage everything better than yourself because you need a parent in the situation.
So you're all about finding people that are maybe better at the areas where you're lacking.
The goal is to be the dumbest guy in the room. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
So if you found yourself in the room where you're the smartest, you get
I'm
out
going
of
to
that
take the
room.
exit.
My last one for you. Your best sales and negotiation advice as a lawyer. You've been at the table with some hitters, closing a $50 million settlement. What's your best sales and negotiation advice as one of the most successful lawyers out here in Palm Beach?
Don't be prepared to do the deal at the table. Be prepared to do the deal outside the room.
What does that mean?
It means you walk away.
Yeah?
And you deal the deal later. You
Tell me-
always get a better deal if you leave it on the table and walk away.
Can you tell me a quick story about a time when you had to walk out of a room and maybe it was a hard decision, but you had to make it for the long term of your success?
When you have $30 million sitting on the table, they're offering you that to sell the case, and you say no, and we're leaving, and you grab your client and you walk away.
So you're not about instant gratification.
No.
You play the long game.
The longer play pays better.
I love that, man. You got amazing advice, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Good to
What's
see
your
you.
name?
Bryce Angel. Yep.
James Dumoulin.
Number 4.
Excuse me, sir. Sir. Question for you. Yes. How old were you when you made your first million?
Me personally, not the business?
Yeah, personally.
42.
And what line of business are you in?
I'm in software.
Yeah? And do you think I could interview real quick? I have one of the biggest business media channels in the entire world. I go all over interviewing the most successful people.
I think I've heard of you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd love
Would
to
you want me to
talk
with you? Is that cool?
That would be awesome.
Awesome. How long have you been a business owner?
This particular company, almost 20 years, and I had one before that for about 6.
What was the turning point like getting into software? Did you always know that you were going to pursue software or like how did you end up in this business?
So I started in tech as a young man, and in my case that was 40 years ago, in IBM, which is a big tech firm that we all still know. But I didn't kind of move towards software until I was in the industry about 15 years, and then came to Austin to work for a company here. Kind of got the bug of the startup game, and then 3 other buddies and I started one in 2000. That was our first company.
Actually. What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
The company?
Yeah.
We're over $850 million in revenue.
Over 850 million?
Yes.
What was the best advice you ever received throughout your career? The most pivotal, life-changing advice that you received in business or anything? What was the best advice you ever got?
I'm going to hesitate to say this is the only great piece of advice I got, but I've given this piece of advice to a lot of people in business setting. And an older guy that when I joined IBM in the 1980s said, look, my advice to younger folks is to spend about 90% of your time on your job and 10% on your career. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he said, look, if you spend 100% on your job, you're going to do a really good job at the job you're in, but nobody's ever going to see you moving beyond that job because you aren't making connections. You're not thinking beyond it. Where do you go next? On the other hand, if you drop it to like 80-20, spend 80% on your job and 20% run around your career, you're not going to do a good enough job. You're only put in 80%. So he's like, the right balance is put most all of your energy, 90-ish plus percent, into doing a great job with where you're at, but you always want to reserve like 10% of your capacity, make connections, learn about what it takes to go to the next level. How do I become an entrepreneur if I've never been an entrepreneur? How do I get into that industry if I'm in another industry? You're always thinking about stretching and growing, but that's about 10%. And if you keep that balance, I think that's a really healthy piece of advice.
You sold hundreds of millions of dollars in the tech industry. Somebody wants to break into the tech industry right now. Give them a hack to sell their product at a large scale.
I think, to be fair, in my case, and again, we're selling that kind of dollars to large scale companies. So we're selling to big businesses.
So you're selling to big businesses. So in other words, you got to solve those $100,000 million problems.
That's where I was going. And you got to have people that know what they're doing. That's where I was going. Like, you got to have software engineers, you got to have salespeople, marketers that understand that large business environment, because it's very different from small business, which is different from consumer.
But so you said you're selling to tech giants, though.
Oh yeah, we're selling to the biggest companies in the world.
Like what?
Like the Fortune 500. Half of them are our customers. Yeah.
So when you're approaching them, when you're selling to them, what does that conversation look like? How do you sell to a tech giant? Like
well, you know what? It's not one conversation. Our sales cycles can be a year or longer, and it can be 50 people in the organization that we got to talk to.
What is the biggest thing that the deal depends on?
Well, ultimately, and it's a team decision typically on the customer side, it's going to come down to, do they believe we're the best partner, I'll use that term, the best company that's going to solve their problem? And if they don't believe that, they're not going to spend the millions of dollars to buy your product.
How do you effectively communicate that when you're in a conversation?
You got to show them. There's proving it by showing them. Often there's these things called proofs of concept or pilot, where you're showing them the tech. You got to have typically very strong references. They got to go, I want to see 5 other people like me that already use this. So the hardest part of a business like ours is the early days when you don't have those references yet. You got to find people that will trust you with a new technology. But once you're bigger and we're there, we're using our existing references to help our new potential prospects trust that we can solve their problem.
How old are you now?
62.
I would have guessed like 40. But real quick though, I'm in my 20s. Your last message to somebody in their 20s trying to build $1 billion company in today's world, they want to become successful like you. Give them one more nugget about business, one more piece of advice. Your last message to the younger generation trying to become successful.
Surround yourself with a great team.
It all comes down to people.
Never do this by yourself.
Yeah.
Find the right team, get the right people around you, and then go after a great problem. You got to have a big enough market problem to get to $1 billion business for sure, but you got to have the right team to get it done.
How did you identify $1 billion problem?
I had been in this space a long time, been around security for big companies, so we had seen a lot of what worked and what didn't, and ultimately we saw things emerging that looked like they could be big problems. And look, I will tell you the truth, this problem, this space has gotten bigger than we ever thought it would. So some of it is sometimes markets evolve in ways you can't predict, and it's actually made our space even more attractive. But we knew it'd be a good space, it's become a great space.
Do you believe in God?
I don't just believe in him, I follow him.
Did you always believe in God?
Yes, I did.
Talk to me about how important faith has been for you building $1 billion company.
Well, to me, the faith thing has a number of aspects in my life. It means partly because I felt like Jesus lived this way. I value all the people in my life. They don't have to join me in my faith view. They don't have to be having the same belief system as me, but I want to care about them, right? Jesus famously said, do unto others the way you like them to do unto you. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Well, if you live that way, you're going to have a pretty good life. You're going to treat people the way they want to be treated. They're going to feel good. They're going to feel valued. So that's core. And I think the other part of the faith thing is kind of, to use an overused term maybe, what's your identity? My identity is not in being a business guy or an entrepreneur, right? My identity is being a child of God. But I happen to be an entrepreneur. I'm also a husband and a father and a bunch of other things that are super important to me. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to base my worth on whether my business works or not. I'm happy that it's been great. The Lord blessed me a lot in our business, blessed our people. But at the end of the day, that's not how I value myself. The business could go away tomorrow and I'd be okay.
You got amazing advice, my friend.
Well, thanks. It's fun chatting with you.
I really appreciate that.
Number 5.
Sir, question for you. Real quick, for 30 seconds. I have one of the biggest business media channels in the world. We got 11 million followers.
You really don't.
Wait, right here, let me get you. Can I get you? Let me get you. How old were you when you made your first million?
Honestly, that was not too long ago. That was actually like maybe 10 years ago. But then it switched. I sold everything and now I'm starting over with an ad.
Actually.
So you gotta have some balls to do this shit.
So what line of business were you in?
I used to be in the dry cleaning business. I had 10 dry cleaners
had
in
10
Williamsburg,
dry
Brooklyn.
cleaners.
Yeah.
That's incredible. How
Yeah.
did you scale up from 1 to 10 locations? Was it hard? Or how did you go?
No, so the trick is, right, you want to own the factory, right? If you own the factory, then everything else is a pop-up. So that looks like a cleaners, but all you're doing is tagging and bagging. Then the van comes around, picks everything, takes it to the factory. So you could get a 500 square foot place and still make $50,000 a month.
That's game.
Because remember, a shirt is called a wash and press. It costs about 40 cents to the hanger. You're charging $1.99.
That's incredible.
And that's just in dry cleaning, but I moved into tech. I moved into tech now.
But you said that when you own the factory, I'm assuming that your competitors also become your customers.
Correct, because now they want wholesale. It's a good business. business, but I moved from that to tech. You know why?
Right.
Because there's no money like tech.
So as somebody who's made millions in a year before, what was the best financial advice that you ever received?
I will tell you what my mentor told me, right? Be more interested than interesting. If you're in the room and you want to be the big star, then you're going to miss an opportunity. So be interested, not so interesting. You learn more. And the idea is we live in a world where people want a reaction right now. That's not how life works. If you want to really be a millionaire, this shit's going to take time. I know there's been a lot of crypto. I get all that. But we're talking sustainability. How do you keep it sustainable where this keeps reoccurring? And that takes years. That's not going to happen overnight. And if that's the thing, hey, you're going to probably make $1 million in a year. But then what happens after that? How do you keep that flow? And I'm trying to keep the flow.
Right. How are you preserving this kind of wealth? Because they say it's easy to make a lot of money, but it's hard to keep a lot of money. What do you invest in?
The reality, it's not about investment. Do you know how you keep your money? Stay who you are. Don't be a weirdo. You haven't been driving a Lambo. Why do you want one now? I drive a Kia.
Yeah. And you're
Why?
a multi-millionaire.
It's not that I'm a multi-millionaire. It doesn't matter if I have 10,000. I drive a Kia. You know why? Because in New York, your car gets fucked up. So why would I want to drive in the cobble streets? Come on, make it make sense, you know? Yeah. This ain't Santa Barbara, you know? The idea is stay true to you. It doesn't matter if you make 10 million, 30 million. Yes, you want an amazing trip, do that. Do whatever you want. But stay true to you. Don't do weird stuff. Don't buy $10,000 steaks. Don't be a weirdo.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of people need to hear that, you know?
It's just, you know, I've been eating Joe's Pizza for 25 years.
Yeah.
I still love Joe's Pizza on Bedford Avenue. That doesn't change. So you think I want to pay $90 for a pizza when Joe's Pizza is $4? Don't change who you are, because then it kind of dilutes you. And then you're on Instagram looking goofy.
Right.
I'm 56 years old. Don't do goofy shit. Yeah, my advice, don't do goofy shit. You're 56, act appropriate. You know how weird I look in a Lambo right now? Come on.
I don't think so. I think you
I'm
would rock
not
it,
good
though.
in the
I think
suit,
you would
but
rock it.
it's just not necessary.
Sure.
I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
I want my kids with me. I want my wife with me.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
I know, bro. I
You got amazing advice.
love your shit, bro. I watch your shit all the time. Every time I see you in Florida, Miami, I'm like, oh man, this guy's killing
Hey,
it.
you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad you were there because that was one of my favorite interviews I've done over the
I
last
hate
couple
when people do dumbass shit like that.
It's all good.
You know why? 'Cause
They don't know.
No, they don't see enough gray in your hair.
Yeah, that's true.
They measure, and this is the biggest mistake. People measure people's ages now still. To this day, oh, he's too young, he don't know. That guy just made $11 million on ClickFunnels, you dumbass.
Yeah.
19.
Right.
Wake up.
Yeah.
He knows more than you.
Straight up, yeah. You're amazing, man. Can I get your contact? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, also, I'd love that.